Hey, it's Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop, and welcome to the Roll-Off Drag Racing Series from JDC. This is the Outlaw point standings after the finals of Week 2. Quite the shake-up. Rob Furrow jumps to the lead, but it's all going to get shaken up this week with these brackets. So, this is Week 3, Round 1. As you saw with the brackets and the points, this is going to be pretty much a breakthrough week. Those who haven't gotten very many points, this is your chance, and maybe the last chance. I mean, you can gain a total of 17 points per week. But the top 8 after this week are going to go into Week 4 with a little bit of an advantage. So, first up, we got Bill STELZER against Gene Eggleston. We got a Mopar match-off here, and both of them start off a little bit slow. As always, the red dice is for the right lane, the purple dice is for the left lane. If you roll a 1 or a 2, it's 1 spot moved. A 3 or 4 is 2 spots, 5 or 6 is 3 spots. And pretty much, if you get to the end and you're right there on the last little spot, you've got it. The only time that there's a tiebreaker is if you're both on the last spot before crossing the finish line. The one who rolls the highest wins, or if it's a tie, then we start the race over again. But the Barracuda is pretty much pacing the Satellite, or the GTX, whatever you want to call it. And they're going back and forth. They're about the 3/4 mark, and the left lane takes a 3-car to 2-car advantage going in, which is huge, especially at the finish line. But he only gets 1, while the 3 roll for the Barracuda takes the win going on to the next round. Next up is Speed Racer versus DIECAST Outcast. DIECAST Outcast did not have a good week last week. He was talking some crap to Amanda, and she pretty much took it to heart and decided to leave him in the weeds. And the Buick just didn't hook up as much as his mouth did. But this is a new week, and he's up against the Cobra, and anything can happen. Hopefully he went back and decided to work on the car, and right now it's looking like he's found some power. He's matched up pretty evenly with the Mustang. They're going neck and neck, nose to nose, all the way down. He takes a 1-car length jump at about the 3/4 mark, and unfortunately he only rolls 1 that time, so the Mustang catches back up to him. Now they're rolling pretty even. They're full speed going towards the finish line, and he rolls a 1 while the Mustang gets 2 and crosses the finish line ahead of him. Next up is Calibre 50 Customs versus Sylvester Groves. This is some Camaro on Camaro action. They both did pretty decent last week, but this is a new week. Everybody goes back to the garage and hopefully makes improvements, or what they think is going to be improvements. It's a very cold week. We're in New England. The track conditions are definitely different than they were last week. Hopefully they take into account the temperature and made the right adjustments. But the right lane right now has got a little bit of a lead. Now the left lane catches back up. They are neck and neck, nose to nose, going down the back stretch. The left lane gets a 3-car jump to the 1-car on the right lane, and once again gets another car length advantage, pretty much sealing the deal going into the final spot. Rolls 3, crosses the line as the winner. Next up, we got Kamikaze Customs and a Challenger Drift against Cooter Speed Shop, who's driving my 66 Nova. This is starting off really slow for the left lane. Everybody tries to guess the light. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but the Challenger is really taking off. Now they both roll a 3, which is good for the left lane, but not when the right lane does the same thing. You want to roll a 5 or 6 to get that jump, but you've got to pray that the other lane doesn't. And right now it's a 2-car length advantage for the right lane. He opens it up to 3-car lengths on the 66 Nova. I'm not sure what's going on, but he did get a good roll that time. He made up 2 car lengths. and the Challenger is back to 2 car lengths ahead. The Nova makes a good run for it at the end. There's only one left. That seals the deal right there. A 6 puts the Challenger into the winner's box and moves on to the next round. Next up, Honest Diecast versus Johnson, 91.95 in that Roadrunner. The Chevelle wagon started off week 1 really good. Has been kind of lackluster since then, but again, it's a new week. Who knows what can happen? But that Roadrunner is really taken off. He's got a 3 car length jump right out of the box, which is a pretty good gap and a really hard gap to make up if you're in the right lane in that flamed wagon. He finally rolls a 6, which gives him 3 spots, but so does the left lane. Yeah, he gets 2. That Roadrunner is hooked up. I'm not sure what's going on with the wagon. You know, little too late. 3 car lengths going into the final laps, or the final stretch here. The Roadrunner has pretty much got it in the bag, but rolls a 6, and the Roadrunner takes it with a simple 3. Amanda Ferrari in the pink Challenger against Rob Furrow, who pretty much kicked everybody's butt last week. Left lane gets a 1 car advantage going into the initial jump. The right lane catches right back up again. They are nose to nose. Amanda's been known to start off slow and come in fast at the end. Everybody is really hoping she takes out this Mustang because he's got the most points this week. They are nose to nose. They are pacing each other. One gets a little bit of advantage. The other one catches right back up again. This could be anybody's race. The right lane takes a 3 car jump against the one on the left with a 2 car gap, but then she comes right back and makes up at least 1 spot that's down to the wire, and she catches up like she always does. This is going to be anybody's race, and she takes it with a 5 to the one on the, oh wow, you can hear the clapping from the audience. Southpaw Diecast versus Rick Marshall. The Viper did pretty good last week, but again, like I said, you know, with the shakeup of how the brackets are, because it's randomly generated, you could have the last place car versus the first place car, and if that last place car takes out the first place car, everybody in the field has a chance to make up points. So that's what's kind of great about this series. I know I've said it before, but a huge shout out to Jay for allowing me the opportunity to host this 4-week tournament and send my top 8 down to him for the Sweet 16 tournament. They are kind of neck and neck, pacing each other out. There is a 1 car gap between the Monte Carlo and the Viper, and they're pretty much maintaining that up until that point where the Viper finds an extra gear and jumps it up 1 more spot to a 2 car length advantage, and he is maintaining that. He's going to the finish line. All he's got to do is roll and he wins, and he is over and wins. Colin HAVARD against AD Custom Elite. The 56 Ford has not had a good run in any of these weeks. Not sure what's going on. It's a big swing. Hopefully he finds the right tune-up this week. If not, you know, I don't think anybody would statistically be out of it next week if you haven't got any points. But, you know, it's definitely an uphill battle to try to get into that top 8. So, but again, if there's a tie for the 8th spot, then that will go into an overtime, and we will roll off drag all those cars. So we will have 8 distinct, well-earned winners. The Nova's got a 1 car gap at the 3/4 mark. He takes a huge jump towards the end, really putting an exclamation point on this race, and he is pretty much right there. He will take this win no matter what Colin does. He takes a great advantage there, but it's a little too late. Chevyland TV versus Wastelands Raceway. Wastelands won week 1, and he's definitely got a leg up on the competition when it comes to points, but anything can happen. The right lane rolls a 6, left lane a 4, so it's a 3-2 jump. Right lane takes another spot, putting a full car length gap in between the left lane, but the left lane says, I'm just getting started. We are back to being neck and neck. you know, when these guys, they all hook up different. They all come in at different times. It all depends on their power curve and what they're running for a motor, whether they're running blowers or turbocharged or pro-charged, nitrous, it doesn't matter. Anything can happen at any point in this raceway. The right lane takes 3 cars at the end to 2 on the Buick, and that seals the deal. The right lane takes it, separating himself even more from the rest. Flying Valiant versus Alfred in the 61 Impala. It's Chevy versus Mopar. The right lane takes a 3-car length to 1 jump right out of the gate. The thing is hooked up. Again, he rolls and gets 3 spots. The left lane only gets 2. There is now a 2-car gap going in. He makes up 1 on that one, keeping the Challenger in sight, which is the most important thing. But that Challenger is fast. He keeps opening up more and more of a gap. The Impala gives a little bit more. He's got some more in the tank. He's trying to catch up, but rolling a 3 to the 5 on the left lane is not helping his case. He's got to make up it. Got to do it now. He only rolls 1. The Challenger will take the win with a simple roll of the dice. Little too late on the Impala. Next up, SRS Diecast versus Chris Welch. The GTO hasn't been doing well either this tournament. Not sure what's going on. It's definitely not driving. It's a motor issue. So hopefully he's got it fixed. The Chevelle takes a 1-car jump off the gate. The 5 rolls a nice 3, brings it even, and they are nose to nose. The left lane is 1 car length behind at this point, not quite at the halfway mark. Plenty of time to make up for it. They maintain the same gap, and once again they roll high numbers, but when they both roll the same high number, there's no gap to be made up. Left lane finally catches up, breaks it even with only 2 spots left to go. The left lane gets a 3 and kills him at the gate. Chevelle moves on. Next up, ZELDA Diecast Racing against Donovan Kenyon. That 71 Mustang long nose, grandma hubcapped sleeper has been up and down. Some weeks he does really good, some weeks he doesn't. So, not sure if he's just throwing a dart at the setup sheet, but either way, this will definitely make or break him going into this week. You really have to get these first round buys or these wins. And he's doing what needs to be done. He's been rolling high numbers. The left lane doesn't seem to be getting there. He's struggling a little bit. Once again, rolls a high number, moves 3 spots, opened it up to a 4-car gap. That is just unbelievable going down the line. This is probably one of the faster races. They're pacing each other, keeping that maintained gap, and that's the end of that one. The Mustang takes it. Next up, J4 Racing against OG Mikey. Both of these cars have been, well, the Javelin actually week 1 really did good. The Camaro hasn't been doing good, but he is, from what I hear, he's got a new motor in that. So I can't speak to it. Most of these guys won't open the hood, so I have no idea what they got, but they're pacing each other right now. Then the left lane takes a quick jump with a 6 roll to a 2. But the Camaro's not done. He's catching up. He's got 1 spot in between them, and the left lane just throws on the afterburners, and he opens it up to a 3-car length gap. The Camaro catches up, makes up 1 spot. I don't think it's going to be enough, but they both roll a 6, which is great, except for the Javelin's at the end and crosses the finish line first. Next up, Mike ESPO versus Mike Mods and Customs. This is a Mike battle. This is whoever wins gets to keep the name Mike. The other guy has to change it. So I'm just kidding. So the left lane, Mike's Mods and Customs takes a quick jump. I can't roll in the box, so I got to re-roll. The left lane takes another 3-car to the 1 on the gasser, who really did well the first week. Has been kind of making rounds, but he hasn't quite finished the deal yet. So I'm not sure if this is going to be the week or not. The left lane takes another 3-car or another 3-spot roll, opening it to a 3-car gap. Left lane, right lane, both roll the same, which doesn't help the 55 gasser at all. and rolling a 1 certainly doesn't do it, where Mike's Mods and Customs takes it at the end handily. Next up, Eddie Bennett versus Full Custom Diecast Garage. I know from Instagram, Full Custom's been doing a lot of tweaking. You know, again, it's not too late to make some points, even going into next week, to make the top 8. If you want to be the overall winner, you got to do something this week. But with the way the points shake up and the way last week our winners have been going out first round, that certainly bodes well for everybody else. So the Nova's got a quick lead. The left lane in that GMC Cyclone made up a little bit on that one and makes up even more on this one, brings it back up to the back bumper of the Nova, and now they are neck and neck, nose to nose at the halfway mark. The right lane jumps off to a little bit more of a lead, opens up the gap just a bit, but stalls out a little bit while the GMC Cyclone comes around and that boost kicks in. This is going to be a tough call, but it looks like it's going to be the 66 Nova, because all he had to do was roll. Once he's at the finish line, all you got to do is roll and you're over it. Chris Gibbs versus Mario Skull Motors. Chris did really well last week, and Mario did well as well, so this is going to be a very important race for both racers. Every point counts at this stage of the game. Going in, you know, week 3, we got 1 full week left. If you can make some rounds this week, you're doing really good, especially if you've already got some points. A lot of guys have 9, 12, 15 points. You know, every round counts. There's no ducks here at this point. So Mario's taken off. You got a 3-car length lead over Chris. Not sure what's going to happen. Chris made up a little bit of ground going into that one. Now they're pretty much pacing each other. They're going roll for roll. Right lane opens it up a little bit more. I think it's going to be a little bit too late for the left lane, and it is. Mario takes the win. Here's our points. We got Rob, Wastelands Raceway, Gene, Chris. Amanda's actually in front. I screwed that up. Mike, Eddie, J4 Racing, 80 Custom Elite. Those are your top 8 or so. Anything can happen at this point, because a lot of people got 9. The people with 6s and 3s really only have to go a couple rounds to be right there with everybody else. So once again, I got to thank Jay over JDC for allowing me to do this. This roll-off drag racing has got really good feedback, and I appreciate you guys watching. I will catch you on the next round.